I can't believe that goal's been given. And I'll tell you why I can't believe that goal's been given. Manchester United had this against Brighton. The ball was apparently out, so Højlund's goal didn't count from Rashford's cutback. When I've seen that ball, it looks out to me. It looks out to me on the far-hand side. The cross then comes in, and as far as I'm concerned, Joel Linton is pushing him in the back to head it back across. So if I'm a VAR assistant there, I'm like, right, I've got to get out of jail here. The ball looks out and Joel Linton's fouling him. So I've got 2 bites of the cherry to just say it's not a goal. The fact that they've given that goal, I can't believe it. You've got 2 reasons not to give it, and you've decided to give Newcastle the benefit of the doubt on both. They don't have the technology to say that that ball's in or out. It looks out. It maybe looks in for some people, but they don't have the tech. And when they looked at the replay, they looked at it for about 10 seconds on that. That's a massive call. You don't even have the technology to say it's in or out. So I can't believe they've dismissed that so quickly. And then on the Joel Linton thing, they look at it from so many angles, and he quite clearly has 2 hands on his back and is pushing him. So to give that goal, I think is incredible. I don't think Gordon's offside. I'm not talking about that, but I'm absolutely stunned. I think it's disgusting. And this is now the 3rd time in the biggest game of the week we've had a huge decision. We had it with Liverpool at Spurs with the onside goal. We had it with Man City and Arsenal where Kovacic should have been sent off. And then we've had it again, the biggest game of the weekend again, ruined in a sense by we're talking about officiating. I mean, is this the plan now with the officials? Do they just want to be the stars of the show? Because we're not talking about goals. We're not talking about individual performances. We're talking about officiating every week, and it's disgusting. It really, really is. I really do think with the case of Havertz, there is a question as to whether he should still have been on the pitch, I suppose. He looked out of control. I mean, look, we're talking about the goal. I'm sure there's Newcastle fans who are saying it should have been a goal and everything was absolutely fine. And look, you've got to be fair, I suppose. If I was a Newcastle fan, I'd want the goal to be given. I'm not blaming Newcastle fans. Unfortunately, we're blaming the officiating again. And look, I having watched that game early doors, I did feel that it was always going to be a case of who was going to score first. And lo and behold, Newcastle scored first and they won the game. And I think that in that sense, it was always going to be very, very difficult. So from an Arsenal point of view, you can see the frustration. I personally think Havertz should have got sent off. I'll be absolutely honest. I think Bruno Guimaraes should have been sent off. So maybe they even themselves out. But that's a silly point as well. We shouldn't be evening it out on incompetent decisions.
I actually don't know if I can even watch football anymore. I don't know what I'm watching. Okay, decisions. Let's start with Bruno Guimaraes. That's a foul. I mean, the ref cannot see that. VAR can. They look at it, do nothing about it. It's a red card. You can't elbow someone in the head. Gary Neville was just raging about it. He saw it 3 times. He said, "No, I'm not having it." We play.
Well, the intent's there, isn't it? You know, you don't put. He lifts his hand. He hits him on the back of the head. It's cowardly. It's, I've seen Casemiro get sent off for grabbing someone's collar. So if someone's going to run up behind someone, and so apparently because it didn't hit his elbow, it's not. But I don't get that. He's raised his arm. He's hit him with a forearm. It's violent conduct. It should have been a red.
Don't get it. And then Kai Havertz, we all saw him running. We knew it was coming. He couldn't pull out of it. For me, yeah, you just got away with that one. And that's not me because I'm an Arsenal fan. That's just me saying, you slow it down. It looks worse than what it is. Then I suppose my other frustration is, I was just saying a moment ago, we got goal line technology, which I'll take that. You can take VAR, don't need it. I don't mind goal line technology. It works. Everyone goes, over the line, no, great. We'll accept it. Do it for the sidelines. They're white lines. I don't get it. Put that in place, argument's out the case. Cross comes in, push in the back, it's a foul. Oh no, it's a goal. Honestly, Mark, I just don't know what I'm watching. I lose faith in football. Your team starts, you're probably the same with Man United. You get excited, you get these decisions, it just takes your heart away. Excuse me.
I mean,
and last point, sorry, Mark.
Sorry.
Up front, I'm not being funny. Arteta's so happy rotating goalkeepers, which he doesn't do, to be fair. I feel sorry for Aaron Ramsdale. How much more evidence do you need a striker? I know we're not in January yet, but if he doesn't sign over Ivan Toney, which everyone's crying out for, and Chelsea go and snap him up, what more evidence do you need? Have 99 winning Man United team, 4 world-class strikers, you win a treble. What more can I say? We got 2.
Dan, thanks for calling in. Get your calls in 03717 22 3344. I think there is an interesting conversation to be had because a lot of people on the talkSPORT YouTube chat debating what's going on, but a few people are saying I actually enjoyed the game. And you know what? I think the referee lost control of the game, and therefore we probably saw more tasty tackles and challenges than we would have seen if he'd got control of it. So I sort of understand that. I also agree with Dan that there is a footballing element here, and Newcastle fans should enjoy that win tonight, the same way Spurs should have enjoyed the win when they beat Liverpool. It's not their problem that VAR is incompetent. But I do agree with Dan from a footballing point of view of Arsenal. If the goal hadn't been given, where was the winning goal going to come from? They were very toothless today. And I think with Eddie Nketiah, he is the sort of striker that when you're at home against a lesser team, he might get a hat-trick. But can he score the decisive goal? He always looks way out of his depth against the bigger teams, whether it's Man City, whether it's Newcastle today. And I think Arsenal, if they want to be title contenders, because that's a massive loss today when Man City are getting back in the groove, they do need to go and get a striker, because Jesus misses a lot of games. And is he a real goal-scoring striker anyway? I think Arsenal do lack that. And I still am not convinced by Havertz either. So Arsenal fans, from a footballing point of view, were you happy with that? But look, bringing it back to what Dan was saying about the decisions, they don't have the technology to see if the ball is out of play. Now, you have to take into account that the bottom part of the ball being across the line doesn't mean that it is over the line, because obviously a ball goes round in a circumference and the bit that's not touching the ground could be over the line, but they don't have the technology there. And as I say, the push in the back is a push in the back. It looks like a push in the back. You cannot have officiating that is subjective on those sort of decisions. I mean, what are they? I'd love to get the audio. I don't know whether we will get the audio, but all I can imagine is they're saying that the push in the back of Gabriel is not sufficient to be a foul, because there is a push. So the only way not to give the goal is to say that the push in the back by Joel Linton is not sufficient to put Gabriel off. Well, you know, we can't be psychic here. How do you know the push from Joel Linton in his hands isn't sufficient enough to push Gabriel forward? I mean, you're looking at a camera, you're looking at a video footage. You can't be subjective about that, because if you've got it wrong, you've given a goal. So it looks like a foul. You've got to go with a foul, whether it looks as like a soft foul or not. I think we're getting a lot of decisions that seem to be in the favour of teams, but then you get a lot of decisions that aren't. And this is why people say, well, Man City have had a lot of decisions go their way this season and Arsenal haven't. And in a title race, it starts to frustrate people, doesn't it?